Hi there, welcome to today's Deskide. I'm Brian Pittman, and we're talking today with Harry Medved, Director of PR at Fandango. Harry, you get to work in a pretty exciting industry. What's on your desktop right now?
You know, I do, and one of the secrets, I think, of being a PR professional is you got to get to the office pretty darn early before everyone else does, especially because I work on the West Coast, and we like to think of Fandango as the place that has its finger on the pulse of moviegoers because we sell movie tickets in advance, sometimes several months in advance. So we kind of identified Twilight, for instance, as the phenomenon it was going to be for the press. So we like to think that we're here to help out reporters, and that was one of the things we were doing for the social network just last week before the movie opened. And now I'm gratified to see the box office returns here Monday morning that it's pretty much where we thought the movie was going to be. But we predicted it was going to be 53% of women based upon the ticket sales that we had and other things like that. So, but one of the things that I'm excited about, Brian, with your new venture is one of the first things I have to do when I get to the office is read everything. I got to know what people are talking about. Before you can start pitching other reporters or producers, you got to know what the zeitgeist is all about. And it takes so much darn time, just to kind of digest everything. And if there's one place that I can go to that kind of gives me the highlights, that's a very exciting thing. It's going to be an incredibly useful tool.
Yeah, we're excited about what we're doing as well. So another tool that can help people stay on top of what's going on is Twitter. And so we're bringing it back to social network here. And yeah, it's at the top of the box office. I think it was 23 million over Legend of the Guardian. So pretty exciting stuff. That's a pretty big story. So let's stay on the social media thing. So you're pretty busy on Twitter. And I think your handle is Fandango News. So how are you using social media, Twitter included, at Fandango?
One of the things I like to do is I like to give attention to other reporters because I think we're all friends in this industry and we're all kind of working together. And that's the beauty of Twitter, is that there might be a story that one of my contacts, somebody who's following me, might have missed, but I saw it on someone else's site because I'm following them. And so I saw, for instance, Jessica Vascalero on the Wall Street Journal was pointing out another reporter's story about how Mark Zuckerberg actually did go to see The Social Network, which I didn't know. They didn't actually have a reaction from him, what he thought about the movie, but I thought that was pretty interesting that they took a Friday off at Facebook to go see the movie. So it's just an example of where I didn't have any news this morning, and I thought, why not just retweet that and let other people see it? So that my contacts can see that. And then a lot of times we just come up with observations about the movie industry that have absolutely nothing to do with Fandango because we want to be seen as a source of news. If every day I'm saying, hey, Fandango sold tickets for this, we sold for that, we sold for that, people get a little bit bored with Fandango. But what makes it work for us is that we're constantly looking at observations saying, hey, did anybody notice that there's like 20 different movies about aliens coming out? We went to this conference that was private and we saw things that the press couldn't see and then we revealed them on Twitter. So that's the kind of stuff that we like to do because it's really more about being a resource for the media. Great.
Since he was with Facebook, the social network is all about Facebook. Are you guys using Facebook at all?
All the time. One of the things we're doing right now is we have a fun poll for Halloween that we're doing where we actually have a pop-up survey on our site, and it's also on Facebook, asking people of all the movie-inspired costumes that you might have seen this year, from Alice in Wonderland to Iron Man, which movie-inspired costume are you most likely to wear for Halloween?
Great.
Either to the office or for a party or whatever. And it's always interesting to see, who's going to be in the lead. I want to see how many people are going to dress up as Hit Girl and Kick-Ass. Or, I'm surprised actually the Tooth Fairy is getting some votes. It's pretty depressing.
That's a great example. I'll have to partake in that poll. So let's. You got a pretty robust social media presence then. There. Any tips if you had to throw a bullet or two out for people in PR, corporate comms like you, marketing? Maybe even some advertising folks and IR folks who really don't embrace social media. What are your tips for engaging social media?
Well, I think that you really have to get to know Twitter. One of the beautiful things about Twitter is that you have to tell a story in 140 characters. And frankly, if you can't do that, then there's no story. The press doesn't want to hear from you unless you can make it nice and concise, because pretty much all stories these days are micro stories. There's, the days of the long New Yorker stories are kind of gone unless you're reading the New Yorker or Vanity Fair. You don't get that kind of space. So the press wants short little sound bites, and Twitter forces you to think that way. And a lot of times it's a struggle for me. I get a little bit lazy sometimes, so I'll go to TweetDeck and I'll try to write a longer URL or another URL for the longer story, and I'll say no, I got to stick it out, and I can make the story shorter. And I think it's incredibly useful.
Well, one thing that you're a master of, we've spoken a lot in the past, is the quick soundbite, and you're a master with a pitch.
Oh, thank you.
Truly, you're a pitch maestro.
Okay.
One more time, should I say?
I'm getting a sugar rush here, but thank you.
All right. Can you give me an example off the cuff, on the fly here? It's a little unfair to you, of a pitch that you made recently over the phone or whatever to a journalist?
Well, I'll give you an example. For instance, for the Facebook movie, The Social Network, directed by David Fincher, it doesn't portray the founder of Facebook in a very positive light. His name's Mark Zuckerberg, of course. And so we asked the question on Fandango, how likely are you to be friends with him? And only 17% of the users said they would like to be friends with him. So we kind of use that out there. How do you encapsulate that into a short little email pitch? So we put it right in the subject line, just saying that social network, fans of
fans of the movie Social Network are only X% likely.
Let me give you a better example. That one just sucks.
It's pretty clever, I think.
I don't think it's working, right?
All right,
Give you a better one?
Go ahead. And these desk sides are fun. So hey, the more faux pas and all, I'm fine with it. We'll tweak some of that out. Go ahead, another pitch.
I'm just trying to think, because I was away from the office on Thursday and Friday, so I just got back.
Yeah.
We did all this pitching way before the movie came out. Okay, I'll give you one.
All right, great.
Well, just, for instance, we were talking about Twitter so much, you would think that Twitter is the way that people share information about movies that they've seen right after they come out of the theater, or it's the way that they discover movies. But in fact, on Fandango, we found that a good 53% of moviegoers share their information and discover movies on Facebook. So that was kind of interesting, and we certainly got that out there right in the light of the social network. So I think there's a lot of ways to use social media to your advantage, and especially when it comes to polling. The media really doesn't care what your company thinks about unless you're Microsoft, They really don't want to cover your company. What they want to cover is what the public thinks about the zeitgeist, about what's going on in the world.
Yep.
And so if you can do surveys for your company and make your company look like it's a source of information that the reporters don't have access to, you're golden.
Great. That's a great example of polling and using social media to get your story out there and to be an expert online. All right, I really appreciate it, Harry. We try to keep these things short, so they are desk sides. I know you're very busy back in the office, so I hope you clear your desk off today and maybe get a chance to watch social.
This is my boss.
All right, thanks, Harry.
Thank you. Well, hopefully with your new venture, I'll be able to work even faster, so thank you.
All right, great.
Look forward to it, Brian.
Thank you, Harry. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thanks.